So we're chatting with the guys at HAIRitage Barbershop about all of the biggest headlines. Y'all ready to talk?
What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of HAIRitage Sports Talk, where we talk about everything on the outside, everything on the inside, and definitely everything that's in the cut. We live on here today, y'all. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to bring my mans on first. You already know how it goes. Mr. Tony Harvey, welcome to HAIRitage Sports Talk on this Monday, my brother. I don't think we got any vocals on you right now.
Sorry about that. What's happening now, Rodney? How's everybody doing out there? Mr. Legendary Brown, I hope everything's well with you, health, family-wise. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Everything's good on this side. Hope it's all going the same on your end. Next up. All right, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, he's my guy, your guy. He's our guy. He's the guy. Mr. Elijah Lewis, HAIRitage Sports Talk. What's up, man?
Nothing much. I'm just out here, you know. It's been a great day in Sacramento, and I just want to give a shout out to everybody else. But today, I would like to dedicate a poem that I'm about to read to all of the 49ers that are going to be on injured reserve. And I also want to pray over that team so they don't have any more injuries.
I appreciate you, man. Definitely.
You know, and
go ahead.
Here's a poem. Here's a poem. I stay out too late, but nothing's in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising. I can't stop, won't stop grooving. It's like I got the music in my mind saying it's all going to be all right, because the players are going to play, and the haters are going to hate. Baby, I'm just gonna shake it off. And that's from our poet laureate, Miss Taylor Swift.
Man,
Hey, man.
I can't wait to DSpeed respond to that poem. I wish he was here at this moment to get his reaction on that, Elijah. But you put a lot of thought and work into that.
I will say, Elijah, I was sitting there, I was going, where do I know these words from? And and then right when you got to the end, I was like, oh, okay, shake it off, shake. Yeah, man.
Shake.
Take it off. Let's talk about the Niners, I guess, because we're gonna jump into the NFL. They lost Fred Warner. Me personally, I think that's the ultimate on the defensive end. So now they really have to lean on the offensive end. That losing Fred Warner is like losing a staple. You know, it's part of the foundation that starts crumbling after that. So I don't know where the season ends up at, but I know the youngsters that they got on the defensive end need to step up. And then the offense is going to have to play A+ game.
Fred is their leader, and that's who they looked up to, you know, when they go into these battles and go into these wars. So to lose him the way they did in that game yesterday, because he's going to be out for a season, is really going to hurt what they're doing. But they are professionals, and they know what they have to do on that defensive end. You know, Bosa is out for the season too. They just going to have to step it up. They're just going to have to step it up. Their development, their progress, they're going to have to ramp it up, because with Warner out of there, and I'm sure he'll be on the sideline at some point, but not out there on the field. Yeah, not out there on the field. They just going to have to all figure it out, because that defense has really been like the anchor of the 49ers organization. And without it, there's not going to be a lot of victories out there. But they still have, you know, a nice core on the offensive end. I think some of these guys are getting healthy. They should be back. But right now, they're hurting. And this has been going on for the last 2 or 3, 4 seasons, with these injuries. They be having these early injuries. Just so happens that Christian McCaffrey, he's available. He's healthy. He's ready to go. I think he scored a touchdown. Yeah, he did score a touchdown yesterday. Now these other key players are sidelined. So shake, Elijah.
Shake it
off.
Yeah. So how are we feeling about Philly at this point? They lost to the Giants, which is a big surprise. I had a conversation with a client that was in the shop. He's a Philly fan, and he actually believes that it's the offensive line. He says it's the offensive calling, but at the same time, I kind of believe that Jalen Hurts that game kind of like he had a man wide open in the end zone when he threw that interception. So I think some of his decision making has been a little bit off. It could be due to the offensive line not giving them enough time. But at the same time, if you're going to want to be that elite quarterback, you got to make those decisions within a split second. And sometimes it does get a little confusing. But where you guys standing at with these Philly?
Here's what I think. They are going to probably still be in the Super Bowl, but I hope Jalen Hurts has not got the curse of the Hallmark ornament, because every time a player gets the Hallmark ornament for the year, a football player, something happens to him, just like the Madden curse. And so he is the Hallmark ornament this year. So, and last year it was Devontae Adams. So what happened there. So we'll see what happens there. But at the end of the season, if he can stay healthy and everything is good, they're still going to be in the Super Bowl. It's going to be them versus somebody else.
Yeah, they're still there.
And they keying in on Saquon Barkley too. It's the difference because last year Saquon carried him last year, and we know this. But it was so new for Philly to fit them into their scheme of things that it took a minute for teams to really kind of get, understand what they're doing. So I think this year they kind of key in on Saquon, which you have to have different tricks up your sleeves at this point. You can't just run with the same thing that you ran. Like, you got a target on your back because you won the Super Bowl last year.
That's what I like about the National Football League, because, you have these savvy defensive coordinators who are good at examining and analyzing film and seeing what certain players and receivers and quarterbacks and running backs doing. And I think that's the case here with Saquon. If we can figure out how to shut him down, maybe put a spy on him, we got a chance of winning the ball game. So that's exactly what happened. And right now, the offensive line, they still trying to figure it out because there's so many things that happening. But when you talk about those defensive schemes, Rodney, that's what's happening on the stand with these defensive coordinators. They see that. Also, on the offensive end, Jalen's going to have to really incorporate his receivers. He has some great receivers to work with. Devontae Smith and the other fellow. Why I cannot think about him. That they had got from Tennessee last year and helped them win the Super Bowl. You got to incorporate them into your scheme, and you have to have some type of rhythm and flow that go with them. And stop using them at the moment of urgency when you should be getting them into the rhythm, throughout the game so they could be a part of the game. I know they've had some meetings outside, the coaching staff, to get together to, try to iron out these situations. And right now, I just don't see that's happening. Thirdly, what I'll say is, hey, the Giants got that quarterback back there. What's his name? Jackson Dart. He looks pretty good for them. Okay. They haven't been able to scheme for him defensively because they don't know what he's doing, what he does, his tendencies and things like that. He is a rookie. Replaced Russell Wilson, because this guy can run the ball and he certainly can throw the ball, and he can throw the ball downfield. Now those receivers got somebody who can make them a deep downfield threat. So Jackson Dart had a lot to do with that. And let me just say fourthly too, and then I'll turn it back over to you, Rodney. Cam Scatterbull. We had 3 touchdowns in that game. He rushed for 98 yards on 19 carries, caught 2 for 12 yards. He's another big plus with that team. Of course, we know he's a rookie. He's from the Sacramento area, Rio Linda. He played at Sacramento State, and then he transferred to Arizona State. That's when he became nationally known. He was picked in the 4th round, the 105th pick of the entire draft, over the summer. And he's proven what he's been doing all through his career, now in his professional career. So I have to give a lot of credit to what the Giants are doing right now, with these rookies. And that's what helped them, beat Philly. Philly's going to be there in the end, though.
I definitely agree. We got Ricky Fame on IG Live over here. He said he believes it's the play calling for Philly. He said, "What's up, Eli? What's up, Tone?" He said, "What's up to the those that don't know? Ricky Fame is part of the HAIRitage Sports Talk. He's handling some business outside of this right now."
Good to hear from him, though. Really good to hear from you, Rick Fame. Glad you are observing what we're doing.
Yes,
hope to have you back soon.
Tylen _Dell, he said he mad that his Cowboys lost to the Panthers. So,
well, Rico Dowdle, who they had as a running back last year, they let him go. So he's the second straight game that he didn't had 200 yards from scrimmage. So that offense, especially that offensive line, is giving him a lot of room to operate. And that's exactly what he was doing. And no doubt, in that win yesterday, he wanted to show the Cowboys, what he's made of, what they're missing, basically. And he did that. Now, I'm not taking any away from the kid that they got from the young man that they got from Denver, the running back Cowboys have, Javonte Williams, I think that's his name. He's been doing pretty well, too, but he was held in check last night. That game yesterday was all about Pickens, the Cowboys receiver who had one touchdown, probably caught for like 168 yards or something like that. So the Cowboys running game wasn't fair, but Rico Dowdle, that's your man. That's your man. And Bryce Young seems to be coming along. Everybody had written him off as a quarterback for Carolina. When he threw for about 2 TDs, over 250 yards. He's coming along strong now because he got a running game.
Yes. I want to say what's up to Lady D Barber. I appreciate you for coming out for barbecue 2025, 2K25. Appreciate you. Much love. We got to get you on here so we can speak some sports. All right, fellas, let's jump into the halftime show for the Super Bowl. I kind of want to talk about this because we already kind of noticed where our administration for this country is sitting at. I'm not going to go into the political side of it, but they're trying to set up a alternate halftime show. We know that Bad Bunny's going to be performing at the Super Bowl. He's Puerto Rican. He's from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a part of America, but there has been a thing that's a little bit of quotations in there that says why. And none of his songs are in English. He doesn't perform in English. Why would we have him perform? But he's also known as right now the #1 streaming artist in the world. Puerto Rico is part of America. And I know a few of his songs. Do I know all the lyrics? No, but I enjoy the song. How do you guys feel about this particular situation that we're sitting at? Maybe not from a political point of view, but as far as, well, I guess political does sit in there. So we will have to speak on that a little bit.
Elijah, you can go first.
All I have to say on this one is Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. This is an all-American Super Bowl already. I hope Bad Bunny go get Carlos Santana, E40, Shakira to be with him, and J-Lo again, just to make them mad.
Rodney, you just mentioned it too. Puerto Rico is like the 51st state of America. All right. It is a U.S. soil territory. And I'm going to just leave it like that. They have all the rights that we have. They can join the army. They have all of that. But when it comes to, this halftime performance, that's going to be by Bad Bunny, which I'm totally looking for. because I'm looking at it as in a musical stance too, because Bad Bunny music, if you listen to it, it has a lot of Latin themes, Spanish themes, but everything that you practically hear in his music, we do know, it's in Spanish. You're going to hear those African rhythms.
Yes.
That is Puerto Rico. Okay.
Yeah.
That is Puerto Rico. You're going to hear those African rhythms. So that would kind of, to me, make it universal, because I grew up in Illinois. I know about the Puerto Rico heritage right there, and I've listened to a lot of that music. Okay. My neighbor, for 14 years before I left, moved out here, went to school, moved out here, was Puerto Rican. Okay. There's 3, 4, at least 400,000 Puerto Ricans that live in Chicago alone. I'm just talking about Chicago, not the rest part of the state. All right. You're going to hear those influences through salsa, reggaeton, reggae itself. You're going to hear those African rhythms coming out of his Puerto Rican music. He got the song that came out about 5 years ago. It's called Bendiciano, if I'm not pronouncing it right. Please correct me. Bendiciano. Spanish and blessing. Right. Okay. Listen to that. That is his gratitude for growing up in that country, all the things that he had encountered positively and negatively, and he's still blessing the people who didn't think he was going to make it this far. He is one of the, if not one of the top 5 international stars in the country. When you look at Taylor Swift and Beyonce, this Puerto Rican is big. But Bendiciano, because I listen to it a lot, I listen to a lot of other Spanish music. I mean, there's some regional things that's going on here. There's one group called Grupo Frontera, and this one group down here in San Bernardino. What is it? Fuez Regatta. They got a #1 song out right now. It's called Mahala. Okay, I'm coming over. All right, listen to those music, and you're going to hear those African rhythms in there somewhere, along with all these others. Blend Spanish and like I said, the reggaeton and all that, instrumental wise, harmony wise, and things like that. I'm really looking forward to hearing Bad Bunny, doing this halftime show. So whatever they got going on, with the conservative side, I understand that you don't want to hear it because it will be in Spanish. But it is something to look forward to, and I'm going to piggyback off of what Elijah said too. I hope he bring in all those other artists too. Make this stuff real, because this is real. And yes, I do listen to Bad Bunny's music. Not all of it, but some of it, and I do try to go and translate it in English so I understand what's going on here, what he's saying with messages or whatever, there's a lot of love songs too. And that's going on before, I really, get a sense of what's happening there. But I think she's an extremely great artist, and I think this is going to be a monumental event that's going to happen in the next Super Bowl in February, and I think everybody should be looking forward to it. But if it's not your flavor, go do what you do.
Do your thing. I agree with you. I definitely think that I think it does separate, because nothing like that's ever been done. Everybody's going to watch the Super Bowl. It is what it is. Hell, we watch everybody from country stars to hip hop stars to R&B stars to rock stars, from Michael Jackson to Prince. All these people that have graced Beyonce's, they've all graced this stage. I don't see why it's an issue now. On to the next. I want to talk about Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez, man, as we know he works for the NFL. He covers games. Me and Marichelle had a conversation about an hour and a half ago talking about, if you were where you're supposed to be, you will never be in the situation or where you are. And one of the reasons why we were stating that is because a lot of people think the scene, like when you're putting on a production or you're a part of a production, you're at work. Mark Sanchez was at work. You're in Indianapolis. You're supposed to be covering the game the next morning. You're at work. Why are you out drunk, wandering the streets in the middle of the night? And why are you drinking at this time when you should be on your most professional behavior? For those that don't know, we're talking about the situation where he approached a truck driver who was delivering whatever he was delivering. He was parked in the alley. He didn't like the way he was parked. He went to pull the man out the truck, tried to get in the truck. The man ended up, he felt like he was threatened. You know, we're talking about a 38-year-old, very healthy person who used to be a quarterback in the NFL. This guy was in his 60s. He felt like he was threatened, so he stabbed Mark Sanchez because of the aggressiveness. After stabbing him, Mark Sanchez ended up wandering off. He wandered into, quote unquote, a bar where he got the help. And from that point on, he's about to be arrested after he gets healthy. How do you guys feel about those particular situations that comes up, and them maybe feeling like they may be on a special level of socialness due to the fact I can do what I want, say what I want, and not be attacked or whatever it may be? I mean, just like real talk, like this is real life things we're talking about. This man put this guy into a situation to where he couldn't even show up for his son's wedding this past weekend due to the big gash that went all the way through his cheek to his tongue.
Well, yeah, Elijah.
Again, it's that whole situation where you are 38 years old. You are working for Fox. You are there to do a job. I think it was Mark Henry or one of these guys that said, ain't nothing good for you if you are doing a sports-related job to be out there at 10 o'clock, or it was Gilbert Arenas. One of those two said it. He shouldn't have had his butt out there in the first place. Then you want to be intoxicated and be mad and be the aggressor?
Come on.
Man.
What you reap is what you sow.
And I don't understand that, because you're drunk. I've seen the videos. I mean, you're out drunk in the state of Indiana. Man, you are in trouble. Okay. That's where Mike Tyson got hung up at. And that's where Mike Tyson did 3 years of prison time. They don't play. We talking about in Texas, you don't play in Texas. Don't, step out of line in Texas. Do not step out of line in Indiana. Do not step out of line in Indiana. And on top of that, we're talking about an elderly man that you allegedly beat up. And we've seen the images on that over a parking spot. I have to say this, at least in my profession too, because, when you see these professional athletes, once their career is over, they blend over into broadcasting. They get paid well. They really get paid well. You could do this for a long time if you're really, really good. And Mark Sanchez, he got an education from USC, University of Southern California. You're good to go. You speak articulate, you got a good thing, but you got some other things going on too, because you go to a bar, you get drunk and you step out there and you start arguing with another person. You're forgetting about who you're representing or why you're there. You're working 24 hours. This is what a journalism teacher told me way long ago. You're in the public eye always. This ain't no 9-to-5 job all the time. Like, you're in the public eye always. You are being viewed as a member of the community, a trusted member of the community. And he stepped out of line, and now he's going to go to court. Whether you plead or go to trial, there are going to be some repercussions. You're going to have to be accountable for what happened with him. And that man right there, he's a victim. It appears to me, I don't know, because more of the facts are going to come out, that he was protecting himself from this big guy that Elijah, you're talking about, who's 38 years old, still healthy enough, probably work out every day, 2 or 3 times a day, was going to harm me over a parking spot. Come on, Mark. Now, I hope you get to somewhere else, that you get this resolved and an apology is issued to the state of Indiana and that man and his family, because you done messed up. I could say some things about Indiana, because I'm not a big fan of Indianapolis anyway, on the racial side of things. I'm not going to go all into that right now, because this is about Mark Sanchez and what he allegedly did, to this older man. But do not play in the state of Indiana. especially Indianapolis, the biggest city in Indiana.
Yes, sir. I truly agree. I want to give a shout out to that guy Rick. What's up with you, bro? We're gonna be talking about some winter sports real soon there, my guy. I do want to bring up Johnny Greer. For those that don't know, in 1908, Johnny Greer made history as the NFL's first black referee. He's breaking barriers and setting the stage for future generations. His influence extended way beyond the whistle, and he became an officiating supervisor. So much love to Johnny Greer. We'll have a deeper story on him in a future segment of HAIRitage Sports Talk. Make sure you go to YouTube, and if you're on YouTube right now, and I'm noticing that probably 70-80% of you guys ain't even subscribed. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and that way you know when we coming up on here. Fellas, we're going to jump over to the WNBA real quick. I want to talk about the Aces sweeping the Mercury. It seemed like a very, very, very simple task that they had to do. The Aces out of Vegas, they seem like they've been on a mission all season long, and it seems like it's came to fruition with it. So how you guys feeling about the WNBA? Who won? We know Asia. We haven't talked in a while, but Asia won she won MVP of the league. So let's talk about all of that. It's been a hot second since we've been on.
Yeah, I mean, the Aces started off pretty rough this past season, but somewhere down the line they got it together. Asia was like the 4th in 5 years. That's a dynasty that they put together under one of the greatest women professional basketball player in that regard. I think that they were going to sweep Phoenix the way they did. I think Phoenix had a really decent season as well. I thought they was going to at least get that third game, but once the Aces won that third game, I knew it was all over for Phoenix anyway. So I have to give them credit for putting up a fight. But the Aces is just too great, as we see. With the point guard, played down here in Stockton. She got another ring as well. It's just a great team. It's just a great team, and I like what they did with the accomplishments and bringing that type of awareness to the WNBA. I know there were some comments made by Nafisa Collier from the Minnesota Mercury about the WNBA commissioner, which she's not too fond of what's her name, Kathy Engelbert's leadership, and Kathy said some things to her in private about some endorsement, and Kathy is trying to take all the credit from that. She was taking credit. Engelbert was taking credit away from Caitlin Clark. And these are women who are out on the floor, playing the game. But the WNBA is going to be all right. They just got to pump some more money into these women pockets and things, though. But congratulations to the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah. Interesting thing about that game. Now, that last shot that Asia Wilson hit, I found out, and I was watching a video somebody made. That's the first time a buzzer beater has ever been made to win a game over a married couple.
Okay.
All right. Well, okay. That's dope.
It's
probably the first and the last time it'll ever happen.
Right. The first and last.
Before we
basketball.
Yeah, and before we move on, and thank you for sharing that with us too, Elijah. I meant to say Chelsea Gray from Stockton.
Yeah.
35 miles south of Sacramento. She gets another WNBA ring with the Las Vegas Aces. I think she was the one who pulled it out too, because in that last game, she scored like 8 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that fourth quarter, she's doing her thing. And I'm sure she's going to be doing some work with the Sacramento Kings in the offseason as well. So congratulations, Chelsea. Right on. Righteous.
Dope. All right, fellas, let's jump over to NBA real quick. It's about to ramp up. We've been in preseason. LeBron's out for 5 to 6 weeks. Keegan Murray's out for about 5 or 6 weeks. And then we've got teams like Golden State Warriors. They signed Al Horford. We'll see where they sit at. Like, who do you guys think that? And we don't have to spend too much time on this, really. But who do you think that, like, before the season? And I know it's hard to say this part, right? Who do you think that sits strong to finish strong in the end? Because it's a long season. We got 82 games. We've got injuries that will occur. We've got a lot of things that will happen in between. There'll be trades that's made. So let's kind of just like bundle all that up. Who do you guys see going towards the playoffs, maybe making an impact in the playoffs? We got Giannis that wants to go to the Knicks and all this. Like I said, we listen to the rumors. We don't talk about them. We're here to speak the facts and all that stuff. So we want to talk about the facts and the truths of what we know as far as from last year entering this year.
I think OKC still looks strong, and the Knicks. Those are going to be my picks. It's going to be a wide open season with all the transactions that went through. Lakers could be good, but those are going to be who I think that's going to be in the tops, or so it's going to be somebody coming back through the ground. But even Golden State, if Golden State can get everything in gear and gel together, they might be pretty good.
On the other hand, I would say coming out the West, the Lakers going to be pretty good. Golden State is going to be there. As you mentioned, they got Al Horford. You can't count them out when they got a person like Stephen Curry. And they were able to give Jonathan Kuminga a 2-year contract to Golden State Warriors. They did. Now, coming out the West, I'm still going to ride with Oklahoma City Thunder. And then in the East, I think I'm going to lean heavy on the Cleveland Cavaliers for what they did. Because one thing they did, they went out, got a bigger guard in Alonzo Ball. I think they can go all the way. We already know the issues that Boston is having. They're not going to have the service of their superstar. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, they are really going to run deep. They're definitely going to have one of the best records in the league as they did last season. And I think it's going to carry on right through the playoff and possibly the Eastern Conference Final and the NBA Finals. They are going to run deep. But I do have the Oklahoma City Thunder, coming back again and winning. I'll say it this early in the game. Season hasn't started yet, but those are the two teams, top teams that I'm looking at, to make some noise this upcoming season.
So you're thinking that OKC can run it back to back?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Because why, Elijah Lewis?
Defense wins championships.
Right on.
Defense wins championship. Hey, so Tone, I wanted to talk about, we're here in Sacramento, California. We have the Sacramento Kings. We now have the Athletics. We have the River Cats. We have the Sacramento Republic FC. But a lot of times recently, let me say this, recently and over this past summer and this past spring, we've been having a lot of excitement coming from our Sacramento State. Sacramento State University has made a lot of changes with not only their sports program, but with the school itself. Can we talk about what's going on over there? We know that they're getting ready to ramp up in basketball with Mike Bibby, and you got Shaquille O'Neal, and then you've got his son Shakir, and then there's a lot going on with the basketball. There's a lot going on with the football right now. They even offered the hip hop million seller Tuesday an offer in football. what's going on over at Sacramento State? This is what I want to get to because we're homegrown. They're homegrown. Let's talk about Sacramento State a little bit and what we got going on. There's a lot of excitement going on over at Sacramento
There
State.
is a lot of excitement going on. Just recently, I talked to Mike Bibby at this event that was put on by the real estate developer Phil Oates, who was running his family business. Buzz Oates' son, Buzz Oates passed away a few years ago. Now I had a chance to talk to Mike about his program, and he really feel good about what he's doing. This is his first year coaching in the collegiate ranks, so we'll see with that. You just mentioned, having Shakur and a couple other players, top players, across the country that's coming here to trying to build up on that. But right now, I just see the basketball side of things is still a basketball team. It's building to be a program, as well as the football program, football team as well is building to be a program. And they're getting a lot of interest, from this region, but there's still a long ways to go. But I do like what they're doing. They do want to build another football stadium. They are looking at that Cal Expo spot, where the racing track is currently at, but they don't do any harness racing or any type of betting or anything right at that facility, which also housed the California State Fair. So they're looking at that being a possible place to build a football stadium. We'll see what happens right there, but they're doing some great things too. As you know, the athletic director is Mark Orr. He's been working on these teams for the past few years. He's really passionate about that, as well as the president of the school, California State University, Sacramento State University, Luke Wood. So there's some big things going on there, and I'm glad they got these big names that's going on with that. But it's still going to take a little time to build a program. But to me, Rodney and Elijah, is about the interest of sports that this whole region has. I mean, look at all these things that we have. We got baseball, we got football, we got soccer, that's coming up. Every once in a while, we had these big track and field meets. We have the college basketball, the NCAA thing that's going on. It's just telling me that this is a sports town and it's going to remain that way for quite some time. Yes, we got the Sacramento Kings on the professional side, so we got NBA teams coming in and out, throughout the season. It's just a really good time what's happening right now, and Sacramento State is falling in line with everything that's happening right here. Of course, I'm an alumni. I did graduate from there, so I'm always going to say some good things about it, but I will criticize them when they're doing some things wrong. But right now, the direction that they're going, they're doing a lot of things that's right.
Yes, definitely. Okay, we're going to look at this MLB. We've got the Dodgers versus the Brewers, and we got Seattle against the Toronto Blue Jays. Who I believe the Dodgers are going to probably end up back in this big game, right? Or this big series, which is the World Series. I'm not sure on the Seattle-Toronto side. I'm going to leave that up to you guys to discuss it. Elijah, I'll start with you. I do believe the Dodgers are in there, and I kind of believe the Dodgers probably go win another one. How you feel, Elijah?
I'm always going to choose the Dodgers to finish up with the baseball that they're playing. Even though the baseball that the Milwaukee Brewers are playing is deadly, it's a team game that they're playing. Not this year. Next year, yes, but this year the Dodgers still got it in them. With Seattle and the Blue Jays, I'm taking Seattle. After watching that game last night, I watched baseball instead of football last night. And the game that Seattle is playing, Seattle is running off of pure momentum. They are playing like they have never played before. They have won the first playoff game, the first American League playoff game in 25 years, I found out. 24 or 25 years. So they are at a point where they're playing off momentum and they're not stopping.
I would like to see a Seattle Brewers World Series, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen right now. I think Seattle might make it there. I really do, but Toronto is a really tough team. Los Angeles, it looks like they're going to be in the World Series again, and they could win it all as well. Of course, with the Brewers, they just put out my Cubbies in a 5-game series. That was tough, but the Brewers have been pretty decent all season. I know when the Cubs, jumped out hot, everybody's like, the Cubs. So was I, but those Brewers, they snuck up on them and they passed them, and they had a nice, considerable amount of lead, international lead, to get where they are. Seattle, I've seen Seattle play the Athletic in 2 series here. They are really, really good. Okay. And the reason why I say that because offensively, they are sound. Defensively, they are sound. But their pitching is off the hook. And not only that, you got one of the best catchers in the MLB who almost hit 60 home runs, Cal Raleigh. So those series are going to be good. I'm not counting out Toronto. Toronto was here this past summer too. I'm really impressed with them. They had the best record for most of all the season anyway. They're really coachable, really manageable. It's going to be, in my opinion, the Dodgers and Toronto. Because just like Elijah said, Seattle's a dangerous team, but they're just not ready. But they are built for a few years too, because they was one of the worst teams in the league for a few years too. So I like the way they built that program. I'm not too fond of their administration. There's a social disconnect there. I won't go into that because they didn't have some issues. They still have some issues, but I understand baseball. I understand Major League Baseball. We'll have that conversation for another time. But the product that they put out on the field is sound. Really, really decent, really professional. I like the players that they have, and I am a big fan of Cal Raleigh, the catcher.
All right, for sure. Elijah, before we get out of here, you got any last words or anything that you want to leave with the people with?
I just want everybody to know, just say the prayers for the bench of the 49ers. Next week, I will be praying for them if they do lose anybody else. So just be prepared to go to the altar if we have to.
Oh boy, I like that. Going to the altar.
I'm putting you back under the towel next week. I hope the rain off.
Oh my goodness.
For those that don't know, we work with CBS and we do a segment called In the Cut. Elijah, he has to, as part of his job, every time the Raiders lose, he goes up under a steam towel. So we'll see next week on that one.
And next week I will, if we do go on the air, I'm probably 90% sure I'm going to be in the barbershop next week.
Okay.
So because they're playing the Chiefs, we'll see what happens.
All right, dope. That's gonna work. That's gonna be cool.
As far as my last words, I will say pray for the Sacramento Kings as well, because they're gonna lose Keegan Murray for at least 4 to 6 weeks. He hyperextended his thumb in that game up in Portland on October was that 10th or 12th? October 20th on a road game. So he's going to be out. He has had surgery, if he hasn't had it already, on that thumb. As we all know, he's the top two-way player on the Kings, and he was playing some really good, excellent, decent defense, in those 2 preseason games leading up to his injury. But I'm praying for this team because they're going to be missing him. So I'm praying for him and head coach Doug Christie to see if they can get through there, with the personnel that they have. But that's going to be a big loss. And just because he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks doesn't mean he might be out long. They just talking about he will be reevaluated after 4 to 6 weeks. So hopefully he can get back at that late stage of November, and maybe they didn't, had a few wins, but pray for the Sacramento Kings, please.
All right, definitely. All right, I got one last little couple of things I'm going to say before we get out of here. Champions aren't made in the gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them, a desire, a dream, or a vision. This is HAIRitage Sports Talk, where we talk about everything on the outside, everything on the inside, but we definitely talk about everything in the cut. We listen to the rumors. We're here to talk, speak the truth, talk the truth, and talk the reality of everything. I want to thank my mans, Mr. Tony Harvey, like always, Mr. Elijah Lewis. You are our guy. To our fella who couldn't make it in today, Mr. DSpeed, you're always welcome to join us any Monday. Mr. Ricky Fame, and to our guest that's been on here today that's tapped in with us, that guy Rick, Lady D, the Barber, and you others. We thank you guys. Thank you for joining us on this live stream. Until next time, HAIRitage Sports Talk, we salute y'all. Peace.
Peace.